Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Shawn Kelly, Into the Night podcast. We are on UPRN Radio 105.3 New Orleans. We're also on UFO Paranormal YouTube and all kinds of other stuff. But man, I got an exciting night tonight because I got my tech boss, Jason I Am Petro,
Oh,
alias Sledgehammer. How are you tonight, buddy?
good evening. Good evening. I'm all right. How are you doing?
Great. I hear you're down in North Carolina. Is that true?
Yeah.
And
It's
how's the weather, brother?
warm.
Warm?
T-shirt weather. Yeah.
Did
When
you
I come
do
back
any
from,
gold prospecting yet?
I wish. I
You
wish.
wish.
Yeah, it's all work, no play.
I'm
Make
telling
me a
you, if
dull
you
boy.
go on your lunchtime and grab a pan and buy some dirt or go get some dirt.
Yeah, I'll have to check around the area, see what's up.
No, seriously, dude. I mean, that's where the gold's at in North Carolina. But I got Jason on tonight, and we're gonna like put him on the spotlight tonight. Um,
Uh-oh.
yeah, So Jason's been with me since 2013, and he is the biggest asset, one of the biggest assets on the group because he
Oh,
has
thank you.
all the equipment. And I also consider him a very good friend, almost like a brother. So this is going to be interesting tonight. So
Oh, thanks.
Jason, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm 35. I work a lot. No, I'm just kidding. Um, Well, do you want to know more of like my background for paranormal, or do you want to know my life story? Let me ask you
Your life's a little bit of your life story. Don't give us an hour of
that.
that.
No, I'm just like normal guy. I'm married. I have an 18 months old at home. He's awesome, and my wife's awesome. And I just get up, go to work, just like anybody else. And I started getting involved with paranormal stuff years ago, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But
hmm
I'm just basic guy, just like everybody else that's out there. So there's nothing, crazy or special. It's
Right.
just a normal, hardworking guy.
What are your hobbies, brother?
Oh, my hobbies. Let's see. Probably my main hobby, which used to be more than a hobby, is being a musician.
hmm
I've been a guitar player for 22 years. I've been in plenty of bands, and we've gotten as far as working with producers, and had some music in the movie, and did all kinds of fun stuff playing on stages in all kinds of different states in front of tons and tons of people. And it was awesome. And music's always going to be a big part of my life. It's always been in my family bloodline.
hmm
Hopefully, I could pass that all down to my son when he starts getting bigger. Hopefully, he likes to pick something up. But
Oh, dude, he's big now, man. He's big. I'm telling you, he's going to be 6'10" when he gets older. I'm telling you.
right, yeah, he's
Yeah,
big. He's getting
he's
big.
a cutie too, man. He's a cutie. But I know that you wrote Chasing Prophecy. You're also on the podcast Chasing Prophecy with me, Jenny, and Trish. And
Yep.
so you wrote the opening song to it.
Yes.
How did you go by doing that? Tell our listeners how you go by, you know, doing that.
Well, actually, the song that I chose for the Chasing Prophecy is a track that I wrote years ago. I want to say probably like 2010, 11, or 12, somewhere around there. I can't pinpoint it, but it's always been on a back burner because
hmm
I never knew what to do with it because it's not very long. It's short, but it was awesome. And it's like, well, I'll save it for that one time when, it'll speak to me. And then when we
Right.
started doing the show, and I was like, hey, check this out. And then, the dialogue just came to me, and I
hmm
just found that track, and I was like, this fits.
No,
This
no, I'm
fits.
telling you, it's freaking awesome. And what was it? You that put the pictures together? Or was that Jenny that put the pictures together?
For what? The
Our intro on Chasing Prophecy.
Oh, she did that.
She
Yeah,
did
that's all.
that.
Yeah.
Honest to God, that was an awesome job. Now,
But now something that is pretty exciting. I have revamped the intro.
hmm
I've made it a lot heavier and a lot more just. modern heavy.
Cool.
And I just got to finish up some dialogue on it. And hopefully we'll have a new one here pretty soon within the next couple weeks.
Sweet. How about mine?
It's coming. It's
It's
coming.
coming, yeah. Yeah, hopefully before the new year. But, you
Hey,
know,
that'd be a good Christmas present.
yeah, it would be a nice, awesome Christmas present.
Oh,
So, we're going to talk a little bit paranormal. I have some questions here
oh boy.
that I want to ask you. So, be prepared. I got like
Uh,
9 of them, maybe 50. I don't know. But what got you started in the paranormal field?
oh, well, we could take this all the way back to being a little guy.
Mm-hmm.
Back to my childhood. I had a couple experiences. Stuff that when you're a kid would scare you, like you see stuff start moving around or you hear weird noises. And I was I believed in ghosts, but I didn't
Mm-hmm.
because I always thought, yeah, it scared me now. I'm a kid, but as I got older, I was like, okay, there's a logical explanation for this. There's an explanation for that. I need to really see it to believe it.
Right.
And that's when moving into my house, we talked a little bit about on Chase Prophecy, just totally changed my outlook on the paranormal altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Because not only did we see it, but we experienced some very dark entity,
Mm-hmm.
poltergeist for the listeners that are wondering what I'm talking about, and when you come home and find, specific room of your house, looked like somebody ransacked it, but nobody was there. Nobody's been home. And it's day after day, and animals are going crazy, and stuff's getting broke and picking up EVPs. And that's when we met. Remember back in
Right.
2013,
Yep.
2012, 13.
Yeah, around there.
And I remember when your group came out, and I met everybody, and I didn't know what to expect. I'm like, okay, this is kind of crazy, but
You had
this is
good snacks, man. You had good snacks.
yeah, very good snacks. And just seeing how everything unfolded, and getting answers, and how you guys like conducted how an investigation is supposed to go. I was really intrigued, and then that's when we, remember we started talking, and because after that and getting rid of the poltergeist, it just fueled my fire that I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to learn more, I wanted to experience more, and I wanted to just be out there.
Right.
It's like opening a can of Pringles. Once you pop, you can't stop.
Or eating about 2 pounds of shrimp that's already cooked. But so remember when we found out who it was? Tell them the story on how you were supposed to get rid of it. I think it's so funny, so cool.
Oh, oh my goodness. So when we found out who the person was, there was one photograph that we had that had the specific person in it. It was just wallet sized, and Shawn and his group said, we got to take this picture and bury it under a tree to bound it to the earth, and so it would leave us alone and just be gone. So what we did, and I have three other, there's four of us total that experienced this: me, my wife, a friend of mine, and his girlfriend. So what we did is we put this picture in a Ziploc bag, zipped it shut, rolled it up. My wife put it in her coat pocket because it was cold out, and we all piled into the vehicle, and we drove off somewhere. It was like half an hour away, like on the edge of the game lands or something. And we're driving up the road in the backcountry roads, and we see this kind of like a cutout. It's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, here, let's go in there. We could get in there and won't get stuck or anything. And so we get out and we're looking around, and we find this one particular tree. It was almost like a thorn bush kind of tree. And it just rung out like this is where it needs to be. So we all, like I said, we all get out, we look around, we find this tree, we walk up to the tree. I have this little shovel, and my wife, she pulls the zipped and rolled up baggie out of her coat pocket in front of everybody, hands it to me, and said, "Here, hold this while I dig the hole." And I'm looking at this baggie, and I was like, "Where's the picture?" Everybody's gonna think this is crazy, or I'm crazy but I said, "Where's the picture?" Because the bag was still zipped shut and rolled up when she handed it to me. And my buddy Mike, he was standing right next to me, and he saw this whole thing unfold. He looked at me, and just the expression on his face was like, "What the heck is going on right now?" And she turns around and she's like, "Are you kidding me? Quit screwing around." I said, "I'm not messing around. This picture is gone." She's looking at. I said, "Look, it's still zipped shut. Picture is missing." And Mike, he's almost as white as a ghost, and I'm getting goosebumps now talking about it. So she's like, "Are you messing with me?" I said, "No, I'm not. Like, it's totally gone." And I was like, if that thing's back in the house somehow after we took it with us, I was like, we're moving. We ain't staying there anymore. so we all, the four of us, we start looking around, and Mike's girlfriend's like, "What's going on?" We're looking around and looking around, can't find this picture anywhere. And I'm like, oh, my heart just sank. I'm like, tell me we're going to be stuck with whatever this was. I was like, we can't keep doing this. It's just destroying the house, breaking stuff, making our animals go crazy. So I had this hunch to look in the vehicle. So I'm looking around, I'm looking on the floors, I'm looking on the seats, nowhere to be found. And then, do you ever get like a weird feeling like I should look in this specific spot? You know what I'm talking about, Shawn?
Yeah.
Like you just get that awkward feeling. Why? I got that feeling about the floor mat on the passenger side. So I was like, okay, so I pick up the passenger side floor mat, and this is the God's honest truth. Face down in the very center of the floor, under that mat, was that picture.
Oh my God.
It was right there. Like I got the goosebumps. Like I got goosebumps. All of my hair's raising.
Right.
My buddy, he was just totally like, I can't. I have no words. I can't believe what just happened, and neither could I. How does that happen? And that was probably one of the freakiest things I've ever experienced. Because it was a poltergeist that was causing all kinds of ruckus, and go to get rid of it, and it just didn't want to go. And like I say, people, I tell people this story, and some people believe it, and some people think I'm full of it, but there was four of us that all witnessed the same exact thing. So it's not like I'm just saying it, and he could easily be manipulated or whatever. But that was something else, man. Something else.
So after you found the picture and you buried it and stuff like that, how did your house feel after that?
It warmed up. There was no more cold spot in the basement. The activity, it was gone. All the bad activity just disappeared. We had a rabbit, and during the whole time this was going on, he was thumping his foot nonstop, bap, bap, bap. And we're like, what is he doing? Because we didn't understand. We weren't into the paranormal yet. So I remember we looked it up on the internet, and that's a rabbit's way of showing like there's danger present.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
It's actually like the rabbit was actually warning us, but we had no idea because, we just didn't understand it yet. But after we got rid of that photograph, and he calmed down, and nothing got broke anymore, and it just warmed up. It was good. It was real good. Everything changed.
So yeah, but as time went on, oh hell, why am I? Ah, there I am. There, you can hear me now.
I see you.
I was getting back talk, whatever. But I'm still getting it.
Feedback.
Yeah, a lot of feedback. I don't know why, but that's okay. This is Torture Tuesday, as we said.
It's Torture Tuesday.
Torture Tuesday.
After hours now.
After hours, yeah. But oh damn, I just got somebody just on my back. Some bits on my back. Some bits on my back. But I know after that happened, there was a couple other incidences that happened in your house that we had to be called over again. Want to share those?
Yeah, one particular that I remember is it was the first and only time it's happened, but a spirit followed us home, and it wasn't from being anywhere extravagant or anything. It was actually from next door, because my woods are haunted. There's an abandoned house over there that has a demon in it. I'm convinced.
That's creepy. That's a creepy house.
Yeah, I caught a picture of something, and it was just this monster looking thing with his eyeballs staring at me, and I've never gone back up there because I don't want to mess with whatever it is.
Right.
Uh, but we actually had, I remember we had a spirit. I think the spirit's name was Larry. I want to
Hmm.
say Larry or Leonard, one of those. And I don't know if you remember, but we communicated with him, and then just found out that he was looking for help,
Right.
to move
Right.
on. And the crazy part was, after we got his name, I talked to my neighbor after that fact, and he gave me the same name because he's
Did he?
lived there. Yeah, he's lived in that house his whole life, so he knew the people that lived over there. He knew everything that happened. And I kind of got the backstory on stuff,
Right.
and so that just verified who you guys were able to help. And then shortly after, I became a team member, and
Yeah, you did.
so,
Yeah, you did.
but there's just so much between that, and doors opening all the time, and lights and curtains, and it's nonstop.
Just like that curtain that's flying behind you, huh? Do you got your ear on, or is your window open?
No, that's the air conditioning in this
That's
hotel
your.
room. Yeah.
Okay. I was just wondering about that.
Yeah, right. It looks like like a ghost is trying to fly up.
That's what it looks like. So everybody, Jason is our tech guy for the group, along with Russell Brown. So, would you like to tell our listeners on what equipment that you like to use, or what you have, and kind of explain a little bit of it?
Yeah, I'll go over some of it. First off, we'll start at the basics. When I joined the group, I had no idea about what was good equipment, what equipment did we need. So it's been a learning process over the last 8 years. But believe it or not, for the first, oh my goodness, long time, years, all I had was a K2 meter and a digital recorder, which is a Zoom H1 that I got for when I was doing music stuff. And it's probably about 15 years old now. It still works flawlessly. But the K2 meter, all that what that does is it detects electromagnetic fields or energy that can be close by. So with this meter, on investigations, what we do is we'll go do a sweep of the house or the building to find old power lines, fluorescent lights, bad grounds before we even get started to investigate. Because if you have any of those factors, it can manipulate your meter, and you could get false positives
Hmm.
of spirit activity. So that's a very good piece of equipment. If anybody, the listeners, are interested in K2s, make sure you get one that's made in the United States. There's
Why is that?
Because the cheap Chinese knockoffs do not work, and they just go crazy, and people start believing stuff that's not even happening.
Okay.
But there's some very reputable supply websites like Ghost Hunters Equipment, Ghost Stop. That's just to name a couple. There's so many, but they're well known, and like I said, they deal USA made K2, so that's what you want to make sure you get.
Hmm.
And like I was saying, the digital recorder, I have a Zoom H1. They're about $100. I think nowadays they're maybe 119. But that has been, to me, proven one of the best pieces of equipment for EVPs that's out there.
Well,
And
isn't it kind of like I know what you're talking about, and I've seen it in action, but isn't it kind of hard to do an EP session with it, knowing that it can pick up a car 2 blocks over?
yes, that's the one downfall, but that could be with any good digital recorder as well. Because here's the difference: a lot of times with the uh, cheaper recorders, which there's nothing wrong with, but a lot of times the audio quality is not as good.
Hmm.
You get a lot more, nasty background noise. The Zoom H1, that's a good like midline recorder. And like I said, I've been using it for years, and it's very sensitive, so it will pick up, a car that might be down the block, but it's clear.
Right.
Like it's not full of hums and hiss and white noise. There might just be a wee little bit that's easy to, eliminate when you're editing or trying to find, get rid of the noise to find if there's anything coming through. But, I've caught some of my best EVPs with this one device. As we heard on the Chasing Prophecy, the No Voice.
Mm-hmm.
That's a class A right there.
Yeah, it is
You
beyond.
know,
It's like a
so,
class trip, like quad A.
yeah, right.
But let me tell you something about we were on investigation up in Monroeville, and Doreen, who was in my group, she we did a walkthrough, and I'm going to share the story. It's pretty creepy. So I got a phone call from this guy's secretary, and this guy wanted to talk to us. So his wife, who was at work, she is a nurse. Okay,
Okay.
so she wasn't home, and he was leaving his house to go to work. So he pulled up to Moss Side Boulevard, I think it was. So no one's in his house, right? So he gets a phone call from his house
Oh, jeez.
with nobody in it.
Oh my.
And it like kind of creeped him out. And it was like, what can this be? So he got to work and he played the message, and the message said, kill the nurse.
What?
Yeah, kill the nurse.
Oh, just gave me the chills.
Yes. And so what happened was we went out and we did the walkthrough, and Doreen, she's going all through the house doing an EVP session like we usually do through the walkthrough. So after we were done doing the walkthrough, Doreen gets out of the car and she says, "You got to hear this, guys. You got to hear this." And Doreen played it back, and then on the EVP, she goes, "The question was, how old are you?" You can clearly hear 93.
Ooh.
When the client heard that voice and he found out that age, he said, "There's no doubt about it. My dad was 93 when he died, and that was his voice."
Oh, that just gave me goosebumps.
Yes, and come to find out, how he explained it to us was that he did not like his wife.
Oh, jeez.
And I mean that was I'll take that to my grave because I think
I
that
believe
was,
it.
yeah,
I
exactly.
believe it. That's crazy.
So when we go to houses or we go to different places, you bring your camera set up. Want to tell our listeners about your cameras?
Yeah, sure. We could talk about the cameras, and there's a lot of other equipment too, so we'll probably get to that. But as far as cameras, I like to research a lot to find what I'm looking for, what's the best option, what can I afford, and everything of that nature. Now the market is flooded with cameras. IR cameras. There's cheap ones. There's real expensive ones. Uh, I personally am a fan of the Panasonic HCVX 981 series that has the IR night vision.
Mm-hmm.
They're 4K HDR cameras. Take SIM cards, and the quality of these cameras when you pair them with the proper IR light is just unmatched, I believe. Like you could be in a total pitch black room, and Shawn, you've seen it. Like they just light the whole room up, and it's just crystal clear.
Mm-hmm.
The microphones
Yes.
on them are great. So I actually picked up a couple of those, and what we'll do is we'll set one or two up as like static cameras in high activity areas, and then I'll walk around with the other one, because you never know what's going to happen or where it's going to happen.
Right.
So those are those cameras, and then I also have full spectrum cameras. I have a couple of those. I have a Panasonic, I believe it's the FZ80 series that I got from one of the Ghost supply places. I can't remember which one exactly, but what it is it's modified where they take out there's a filter that they take out so it can see all, the whole light spectrum, UV and
Right.
infrared and everything. And when you pair that with, an IR light or a full spectrum light, you can get some pretty fantastic results.
You do have awesome pictures on them.
Thanks. Yeah. And with the full spectrum, that's the one that has like a purple hue to it. So everything's kind of purple. I'm assuming that's because it absorbs all the light. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know the science behind all that, but I got a good one of those, and I also have a small action cam version.
Mm-hmm.
Those are pretty popular. So what I'll do as I was talking about the Panasonic cameras, when I'm walking around with one, I'll also have the point of view full spectrum on the same. Um, what I want to say? I what is it? The PM1 is what it is. It's a camera holder, and it's got these arms that were custom made with 3D printers, and you can put up to like 5 devices on them.
Yeah,
So,
that's cool.
yes.
You
So
look like
actually,
something from Star Wars, dude.
yeah. So I'll actually use the POV camera as a regular camera instead of a video camera when I'm running the night vision. So that way, when I walk into a room, I can snap pictures in full spectrum and capture the IR night vision with the high def camera.
Mm-hmm.
So that's and I got a couple cheap ones, but they're just yeah.
Maybe next week, say some prophecy. You can take a picture of all your equipment and look at it.
Yeah,
Ladies
right.
and gentlemen, I'm telling you what, he is loaded. So, but he's a very good tech dude, and
Oh, thanks.
I mean, seriously, he's like one of the best. And along with Russell Round, just in case Russell's listening, you know, Russell's good. I mean, I am very, very fortunate. I've had the group since 2006, and I've had over 150 people in my group. They rotated in and out. And I have to say that the group I have right now is the best. I mean, I'll put this our paranormal group up against any other paranormal group, and I'll tell you why our group is good is because we not cheat, we treat our clients with respect. We treat the spirits with respect. So again, like I say every time I'm on my show, if you treat the spirits with respect in return, they will respect you, and that is the secret to ghost hunting. Um, so tell us about the little gadgets that you got along with
Oh.
your camera.
Well, other than those cameras, I also have two other sets of cameras that are surveillance cameras. And I wasn't sure what kind of surveillance cameras to go with. Um, and I actually got these ones from, believe it or not, Harbor Freight, the Cobra 4 channel.
Hmm.
And I didn't have a lot of faith in them at first. I'm going to be honest with you. It's Harbor Freight. Some stuff's hit and miss. And I
Right.
was like, it's a cheap surveillance setup. But after using the first setup, because it comes with two cameras and a live monitor, so you can watch it and record it, and I started capturing stuff on it, I was actually kind of blown away. So I actually bought another one when they went on sale again. So now when we do our bigger investigations, I'll set up 4 cameras just running nonstop. And let me tell you, that's fun to review about a whole weekend's worth of footage from 4 cameras. But as far as little gadgets, I run a laser grid, which is really cool because if something breaks the laser pattern, you'll see it. If it's a very powerful spirit, you'll see it with on camera or whatever. A lot of times though, we can't see it, which is crazy. People are like, "Oh, why you got this laser grid? You never see nothing, this and that." And it's like, well, you got to look past seeing it with your own eyes, and you got to resort to reviewing your footage and watching it because you might see discrepancies in the grid that you didn't see, and so you might have something. Um, so I got that. We have motion detectors; those are good to set up in case something goes walking by, and you could be like, "Oh, there's something in the other room." You could run in there, investigate it. Let me think. I got so much stuff. I'm trying to remember.
Remember, it's only a 45-minute show, brother.
Yeah, I know. IR lights. You want to get good IR lights. I've tried several out. I got big ones for outside, that'll light up the side of whole buildings and the streets, and it's pretty intense. And then I got smaller ones for indoors, and you gotta know how to do it appropriately. REM pod.
Hmm.
Thank you, Augie. I almost forgot about it there for a second. The REM pod's actually a pretty cool device because unless something gets right up on it to break its own EMF field, nothing will happen. But when it does, it's really exciting because I had my REM pod I think for a couple months and just nothing was happening. To the point that I thought it might have been a dud or it might have been
Hmm.
something wrong with it. And then I remember, I think the first time it worked was at the Kinsman house
Right.
when we had it in the master suite, and we had it set on the bed, and we asked the spirit, if you're here, can you sit on the bed? And as soon as we said that, it went off.
Right.
There's no power sources around it. And there's been several times on different investigations where the spirits like it. It just goes
Down at
off.
the Marcos, remember the past weekend?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Marcos that went off
yeah, it was going
a lot.
crazy down there.
Yeah, it was. That
you
that
know,
that was a good 2 day deal down there.
yeah, yeah, I agree.
But I don't. I'm like on the fence with the one where you have the little box that says yes and no on it.
I agree with you. So people that are listening, I have a yes no box. They're fairly new on the market. Um, what it is it's two little boxes that are joined together, and one has a Y and one has an N in different colors. One's green, one's red. And if something gets close to it, and like willingly to touch it, it'll light up. So you
Hmm.
can ask yes or no questions. It should light up. But I haven't had any success with it at all.
Do you think maybe they kind of don't realize what kind of equipment? Because think about it, right? Look at all the places we investigated, and other people have investigated before. So, and I'm sure you're the only one right now that has a little yes no box, and maybe they don't understand what it is. Maybe we got to like show the spirits on what to do on that. You know what I mean? What do you think?
That's definitely a good observation. I agree with that. Maybe we should focus on that more because we're so used to it.
Right,
It's nothing new to us.
right,
What to do, what it means, or how to use it. But like you said, spirits, they might not know. Especially if they're from like Victorian age or
true.
earlier, or they're not going to know what this stuff is.
God, no, they're not. You have
You
to
know,
show them, man. That's how I learn. You got to show me stuff. I can't read about it. But so we go on and do an investigation. How long does it take you to review your evidence?
oh my goodness. Well, uh, considering that I'm a very busy individual with a busy work schedule, and I have a 18-month-old at home, it's kind of hard to be honest. But if I actually sit down and review everything I have, it all varies because how many cameras did I run, how many EVPs did I take. It could take, I could whip through an investigation in a couple hours if I only ran one camera, maybe a couple EVPs. But the weekend long investigations where I have 9 cameras going, plus EVPs, and it takes a couple weeks, if not a month or two, to get through everything.
Hmm.
And then but you learn, what kind of, what files you can weed out real quick,
Right.
you know, so that helps. But yeah, it takes time. It's patience. Everybody wants to do the investigation, which is fun. Nobody wants to review stuff.
I'll see.
Like I don't. It's
True.
hard.
But
It's
you know
hard.
what? Since I got my PC now, which I prefer over a Mac, any
Oh,
day. Yes. Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's
yeah,
another show, you know,
whatever.
whatever. But as you can tell, Jason loves his Macs. I like my PCs. So
I'm using one right now.
I know you are. It's like your baby. It's like your girlfriend when you go out of town to do some welding and shit. You know what I mean?
Hey, it works. The Mac just works.
All right. I got another question here. What do you expect when you go on a investigation? What do you expect to happen?
Um, well, first, I go in positive, and open. You got to be open to the spirit world and understanding, or else you'll never catch anything if you're, like nothing's there, nothing's ever going to happen. You got to be open to it. You got to use your senses. When we go on an investigation, I like to talk to the people, get understanding of what's happening there, so maybe get some answers, some information. Uh, as far as activity, I don't ever really expect anything to happen.
Hmm.
When we do get activity, that's a huge bonus to the
Right.
investigation,
Okay.
because how many times have we gone out and absolutely nothing has happened? You just get a bunch of people trying to stare at each other in a pitch black room. You can't see nothing. The next thing you know, you hear somebody snoring.
Ain't that, yeah, ain't that crazy, dude? Ain't that crazy? Because, people, they watch on TV all these ghost shows, right? And
Right.
they're always constantly, doing something in the dark. But think about it. A lot of our investigations, we sit in a room where it's pitch black and
Right.
talking to something that might not be there.
Right. So
And and it's kind of funny. Thank God our clients are okay with it because they got the ghost problem. But it's like, damn, are these guys for real or not? Everybody,
right.
all our listeners out there, honest to Pete, if you want to investigate, be prepared to be bored. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
and that's how it's going to happen.
Right.
See, to me, going on an investigation, what really gets me going is getting the phone call, doing the walkthrough, going to the house, set up the equipment, and boom, it's done. The excitement's gone. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like I'm like really tired. I got to go eat some chocolate chip pancakes at Eaton Park.
Ooh.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
chocolate
it's making
chips.
me hungry.
Yeah, it is.
There's a
Me and
Waffle House
Val,
right next to where I'm at.
me and Val, man. She got me hooked on those chocolate chip pancakes,
Oh, I
man.
believe it.
They are so good. And then when Eaton Park had their buffet, right? That the Saturday night midnight buffets.
Oh my God, I used to go there all the time for
Oh
those.
my God, dude! All that food, and I'm telling you what, ladies and gentlemen, ghost hunting, you get hungry. I mean, there's no doubt. But yeah, there was some fun. I hope Eaton Park opens up their buffets again.
Yeah, the midnight buffet was awesome.
Oh my God, unbelievable. Okay, now another question. Um, do you prefer private investigations for clients, or do you like to go to old historical places?
Ooh, that's a very good one.
Hmm.
Uh, I think for me, it's a kind of like a combination of both. But here's why. So I like the historical places be, due to the fact that they're part of our history. People are keeping the maintenance up on them. To keep this history of our civilization, no matter where it is or what it was. Uh, and it's cool to hear different stories of people that had different spiritual experiences there. Like was it like Kinsman House or Abel Colley Tavern?
Hmm.
So you hear like this person said, "Well, this happens here, this happened there. I had this experience." So you go in with high hopes, and sometimes you catch something that might be similar. You might not catch anything. It all depends.
Right.
Uh, but I also like private, like residents because there's how many people out there that were once like myself. I was once like that. I didn't know what to do, who to turn to for help. Way back when all the spiritual activities started happening that was negative. If
Hmm.
it's all positive, it's not a big deal. But when it's getting
Right.
crazy and destroying stuff and causing chaos, it's got to go. And now being an investigator for so many years and with all the experience being able to help other people out, figure it out if it could have been, lighting fluorescent lights that were messing with them or bad electrical, or finding out if it is actual spirit activity and helping
Right.
them understand it better, So it's
Hmm.
definitely exciting on both boards. If I had to absolutely choose, I'd probably go with the private
Yeah, me
investigations.
too. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what Pittsburgh Paranormal Society was built on, really.
Yeah.
Is helping clients out. To me, going and my second best would probably be a cemetery. Old
Okay.
houses. I like to listen to the history of it, but private residence is where what I think is the best because it's really really cool when you find out that they have a peace of mind.
Hmm.
When we leave. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And it's good. Now tell them about. Give them the story about the Bel Air house.
Oh,
Me and
gee.
you were down the cellar. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to hear this one. This one was crazy, man.
Oh my God.
Now,
So
before I'm going to set the stage real quick. Jason's like 6'5", and I'm 6'5". He's a big boy. He's like Herman Munster almost. Okay, and I'm like 6'1.5". So we'll go from there. Go ahead, buddy.
So the Belair House it's a hit or miss kind of place. Okay, so we were there twice. The owners even told us some weekends the place is super active, other weekends it's not, because it takes energy, and just like us, you get tired, and you got to rebuild your energy. So we were there in the fall of last year, and nothing crazy happened. So then we had the idea we should go back, and we were all on the fence because there wasn't a whole activity, and it's like, do we want to go? It's just, it costs money and stuff, and everybody's schedule and trying to go for a whole weekend. And so we decided to do it. So we went back in February, and so I'll just get straight to the fun
Yeah,
parts, because if
get
you want to
right
know
here,
about the
buddy.
other, I'm going to jump right in. So Shawn and I were in the basement, and the basement was separated into like three sections. There was the first main basement, which was real long. There was a doorway into another squared off kind of basement. Then there was another room behind it, which is where the portal was that spirits were channeling through. And so we're down there. It's like 2 a.m. It's real
Yeah, it
late.
was tired. Yeah.
And, it's like, hey, let's go do a K2 EVP session down in the basement. Okay, so we go down there, and I'm sitting on the left side of the squared off basement, and then that room's right behind me with like a little passageway in between. And Shawn's sitting to my right. And so I got surveillance cameras running, and I had my full spectrum camera running, as we're going to start this EVP K2 session. So we're just chit chatting for a minute. And then I heard a shuffling noise from behind me. It was totally odd sounding. And I was like, Shawn, did you hear that? And he's like, hear what? And then all of a sudden, the shuffling, whatever it was, ran up from the back room and stopped right on me. It scared the living crap out of me. I jumped, like I just catapulted out of my chair on the Shawn. I landed right in
On my lap.
He starts yelling, like, what's going on? I said,
Seriously, man.
something just ran up on me.
I mean,
my adrenaline was pumping.
oh my God, you should have seen it, dude.
It was
Wow,
unbelievable.
he was white as a ghost, but man, he got scared, and I was like, yeah, it's about time he got scared.
I got scared, and I was like, and then I just wanted more. Like I wanted to hunt this thing down.
Oh my
Whatever
God,
it
that
was.
was something. But the first time that we went to the Bel Air House in October, I remember we were there for 2 nights, and the first night, was really like not too busy. It wasn't a lot of stuff.
It was pretty calm. It was fun. The first night was like had a fun atmosphere.
Then the second night, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, I tell you not, I could actually feel. You could actually feel the house turn from happiness to pure evil. It was unbelievable. It was one of the worst feelings I had. That was really really creepy.
Yeah.
And but that like scared the shit out of me. I just did not like the vibe that I had in that house, man. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna be working
Yeah, I think that
overtime
was
here and shit.
Yeah, I think that was probably one of our determining factors of actually going back the second time, is because we had that experience. We didn't have a whole lot of physical experience caught on camera, but we had
Right.
the experience of everybody noticing that the house went from we're all having a good time and it's happy the first night, and then that second night, like you said, it was just
It was
dark.
bad.
It was just real. We're like, maybe we should go back because there definitely
Mhm.
was something.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean
Yeah, it was just,
that was a freaky night. But I know for me, when I go on investigations, a lot of people want video, they want audio and stuff like that, like for good evidence. But like I tell people, 99% of the time, it's not so much what you get on video, but that personal experience you get when you're
right.
there at the house. How do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. Because like a lot of times you might not catch anything on camera or whatever, but if you use your physical senses, sight, hearing, smell, if you feel something,
Hmm.
that experience will stick with you, forever.
Right.
even if you didn't catch anything on camera or on audio, it's like you said, it's all about the actual experience of it. And until people experience it, they might not know, what it is, or, what they could be missing, or the excitement,
Right.
so.
And a couple more questions here, brother, and it looks like it's be time to close up. But what
Oh,
was your
wow.
favorite investigation you ever did?
Oh my. So that's got to be. We've had some good ones.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
I'm gonna throw up two.
Okay.
One, and it's not a bias, but it's because I was living with it. I'm gonna say my house
Mm-hmm.
is one of my favorites because it's nonstop activity, and every single time we investigate, to this day, you catch something.
Mm-hmm.
Every time, it's something. And then the second one I would say would be the second trip to the Bel Air house. We
Mm-hmm.
had just an immense amount of activity that whole weekend.
Right.
So I would say those are my top two as of right now.
As of right now,
I'm still looking for that scare factor. I'm still
scare factor. You jumped out of your damn chair and landed in my
yes.
lap, dude. Come on, man. What's up with that?
Well, what I'm talking about is a scare factor that
Oh,
it's so bad that I pack up and leave.
okay. I
That's
see.
That's what I'm searching for.
Okay, that's what you're searching for. Okay, good.
One of
Because, ladies and gentlemen, honest to God, I saw this 6'5" dude over 300 just jump out of his chair and landed on my lap. He scared the shit out of me more than he scared out of anybody else. Seriously, dude. I mean, it was crazy. But
Oh.
that was good. Now, last question of the evening. What is the one thing you want to achieve in the paranormal field?
I just want to, like I said, I want to be able to help other people. I want people to recognize that, we are real. We're not, you know, stuff like you see on television. A lot of that's, edited and filtered and might be manipulated. I'm not gonna say if it is or isn't.
Right.
I think we all know what TV is, but I want people to, be able to contact us knowing that we're going to do our best to help them. We're going to provide the real evidence that we get, just, that's about it,
Mm-hmm.
just as long as we can help people out and, be known that we just provide the real raw footage.
Right.
We don't sugarcoat anything. We don't, manipulate anything. And,
Mm-mm.
what we get is the real deal, because,
Mm-hmm.
there's so many with the internet. It's so easy for people to make videos and make stuff happen and all that jazz. And, we're not about that. So,
No, we're not. We're like definitely for real.
so I think
And
that's like our thing.
yes, we're for real. I mean, and like I said at the beginning, we got the awesome group. Now, I know before when you joined PPS, before that, back in 2006 when I started, there was a lot of what can I say? A lot of groups didn't like other groups. Do you know what I mean? It was like if we
Yeah.
got something good, they wanted something better, and they were always jealous, and they did
It's like
whatever they could,
competition.
basically. And but I never believed in that. I always believed that if another group needed help, that we would help them. But
Yeah.
so my question to you is, what do you think of paranormal unity?
Uh, well, as of nowadays, compared to like when you first started, I feel like now a lot more people are understanding paranormal. A lot of groups are actually working together, which is
Hmm.
good. It's really good to see that, just seeing like other groups and even in other countries just uniting.
Right.
You can go to Facebook pages, and talk to paranormal groups from Yorkshire,
Hmm.
and they're more than happy to talk to you. And the competition factor is getting lower and lower and lower. You
And
know,
I think that's because people are realizing that we're in here to help people and help other people. It's not so much about the picture no more. And I've been in the business for what, over 30 years, but actually been ghost hunting for 16 years now. And I've seen a major change in the paranormal field, and
Yeah.
it's really, really nice. It just seems like at the beginning when TAPS came out, everyone had to be a TAPS family member, and it to me, I was like, no, I'm no TAPS family member, and I got shunned on that. I mean, literally, I got blasted by all kinds of paranormal groups because I didn't go by their rules, and their
Oh,
big
yeah.
rule was they did not believe in orbs. You know what I mean? And at that time, I believed in orbs. I was at the point. I'm Irish, all right. I'm what 94% Irish, and no one's going to tell me what to freaking do. You know what I mean?
Start
Just like
fighting.
my group, but it's my own thing. But I do like to. I like seeing people work together. I don't like people fighting. Different groups
Yeah.
together. So. But what do you think we should be investigating coming up? I will tell you this: I have a walkthrough tomorrow from a past customer. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, then I got one on Friday, and then I'm setting up another investigation for us to go on. It's a building out on Route 8. It's a school building. In fact, at one time
Oh,
I had a yeah, it is. I had my office out there
okay.
because at the time after I did Raw Fear, I started Paranormal Pittsburgh, which was a TV show, and my office was out there, and so I contacted the dude, where he contacted me, and he sent me some videos of all these orbs going crazy in the building. So I think it's going to be definitely a very, very interesting one.
Yeah, that
Um,
sounds cool.
so yeah, it's 12:01 a.m. So we're going to be getting out of here soon. But so, do you have any advice for people who want to start out investigating ghosts?
Yeah, I do actually. If you want to reach out to a paranormal group, if you're really interested in it, I don't recommend doing it by yourself with no experience, because there's too many times that we've encountered this before where people are unsure of what they're doing and they end up doing something wrong, and then something ends up coming through that shouldn't have, and then we got to go in and get rid of this thing, whatever it could be. So my main advice is, if anybody's interested in it, contact on Facebook or whatever, contact a local paranormal group wherever you're located at across the world. They're everywhere. Because they'll have more experience, and then we all got to start somewhere.
Right.
A lot of times groups will be like, they might not be able to take you out for a while because it might be all strictly private stuff. But
Hmm.
something we like to do is, if we get like a bigger investigation or a historical place, we'll take people that are interested, to teach them,
Right.
the right way
Exactly.
than from the wrong way, because like I said, you don't want to end up having something cross over that it shouldn't have because you didn't know what you were doing.
Exactly. Very good. Very good advice. And I also like to tell people too, ask questions. Find somebody that knows what they're doing and ask a lot of questions,
Yeah.
and they will answer them for you.
Yeah, especially like I said, nowadays, since the competition level's going down, more people are willing to help other people that are interested.
Hmm.
So
And then we got to get Jenny Nicosia to come on with one of our investigations.
we've been
We
trying that for how long now?
over a year now, so hopefully she'll
Yeah,
get on, and we'll get her on one. But
yeah, she
hey,
needs to come
listen,
on.
brother, I want to thank you for being on.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you being on, and stay safe in North Carolina and have a safe trip home.
Thanks. We'll do. We'll do.
All right,
Happy
everybody.
Torture
That
Tuesday.
happy Torture Tuesday. It was a good Torture Tuesday.
Yeah.
But I want to thank everybody for listening into the show, and so we're going to close for now. So we just got to wait for Joe to come in and clear us out. So we'll continue talking until Joe comes in. Yeah.
Well, once I get that intro put together, then you can play your music.
Yeah.